So as I look at this quiz review, I don't see anything about summation. So I think we're good to go. First thing I would do for my own sanity is I would write the arithmetic sequence on top and the geometric. Then I'm good to go and I don't have to stress about it. So recursive. Recursive means I need the guy before. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You don't have to set it up like a table, but you need to show me all your steps. So let's see. I already gave you the first term. Now to get the second guy, I need the first guy. So that's what's going to go in there. I'm going to show my work. -2 times 3 plus 1 is -5. Now to get the third term, I need to use the second term. So I'm going to take that -5 and plug it in. 11. And then to get the fourth one, I take the second one. Or to get the fourth one, I take the third term. -21. And the same thing, -2 times -21 plus 1. 2 times 21, 42, 43. Now make sure you actually list the terms. That's the answer. 3, -5, 11, -21, 43. Okay? First 5 terms of this sequence, which is actually explicit, which means I can find the fifth term before finding the first term. But I'm more methodical, so I'm not going to do that. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to list them, 1 minus 2, because if you look, I don't know where my yellow highlighter went. Oh, there it is. If you look, all of these go in for the value of n, so I think it's just easiest for me to just show all my work first. 4/9, 3 minus 2. It's not pretty, but it gets the job done. For all of these, went in for n. Okay? So 1 minus 2, you can use a calculator, but I'm not. 1 minus 2 is -1, which means you flip it. 2 minus 2 is 0. Anything to the 0 is 1. 3 minus 2 is 1, so it's as is. 4 minus 2 is 2, so 4 squared is 16. And then 9 squared is 81. 5 minus 2 is 3. 4 cubed is 64. And 9 cubed is 729. Make sure you actually list them. 9 fourths, 1, 4 ninths, 1681, 64 over 729. Okay, first 5 terms of your explicit sequence. All right, let's go to the next one. So for the next one, I need the 11th term of this arithmetic sequence. So as soon as they say arithmetic, I'm writing down the formula. It keeps me focused. So I need the first term and the pattern. I don't have the first term or the pattern, so I've got to do some lying. And if I'm going to lie and say this is my first term, I've got to lie and say this is my 15th term, and this is my 10th. So I'm finding my 10th, but really my 11th. So now what I'm going to do is my first term, 13, goes in there. This is my 15th term, n, and 163 goes in there. If my whole purpose is to find the pattern, I need to have everything else. I'm going to write that in. 163 equals 13. 15 minus 1 times d. Subtract 13. 15 minus 1 is 14. Divide by 14. I'm going to use my calculator. You can use both calculators for the quiz. I think this one is easier for some things, and the other one's easier for other things. Okay. So I get 10.71. Let's see if it turns it into a fraction, because a decimal isn't perfect. 10 and 5/7, which is 75 over 7 equals d. That is definitely super annoying. So you want to make sure that hopefully it's not like that during your quiz, but if it is, you'll be fine. So now what I'm going to do is I need to actually find my 11th term, which is my fake 10th term. My formula is right here, so I'm going to find my fake 10th term. I use my first term. It's my fake 10th term. And then times 75 over 7. Okay. So now I know that 10 minus 1 is 9. So I'm going to go 10 times 75 divided by 7. Oops, I did tan. Sorry about that. And then I add 13. And then I second PRB it. And I get 120 and 1/7. Now I know that that's 141 over 7. But if you don't know that, what I suggest you do is use this calculator. Okay, so what I suggest you do is go 13 plus, I don't know if it's good on that. So go 11 times, parenthesis, I don't know why I did that, 75 over 7, and then plus 13. Okay? I feel like something happened here. Okay? Yeah, we're good. I multiplied wrong. So I get 916 over 7, which is actually super crazy. But be careful, because I went too fast. I got so intimidated by this fraction. It's not the 10th term we want. It's actually the 11th term. Okay? All right, let's go to the next one. Determine whether this is arithmetic, geometric, or neither. So I notice each of these are divide by 2. Now, my mind thinks, okay, well, that means the ratio is 1/2. But the problem is the ratio is 1/2. 5/12 times 1/2. Sorry, there's somebody calling me once. So if I thought that the ratio was 1/2, 5/12 times 1/2 is actually 5/24. But that next term says 5/6. So the ratio isn't 1/2, the ratio is 2. And let me show you what I mean by that. If I go 5/12 times 2, that's 2 over 1. That's 5/6, which is the next term. But it goes negative, positive, negative. So my ratio, which is letter B, is actually -2, and it's geometric. To get the next term, I'm going to go -5/3 times -2, show your work, which is 10/3. Okay? So you'll notice it's not that we're going over so many concepts, but it's the idea that the concepts that we're going over, you need to make sure you get them. All right, find the pattern in the next number. So I look, and it's not consistent, so it's not arithmetic or geometric, because that's +2, that's +4, that's +6, that's +8, so that's +10, 33. If it happens that you know that this is 2 levels, +2, +2, +2, you know it's a quadratic function, but it's more complex than that. I'll give you a little bit of bonus if that happens to work, but really this is all that I'm looking for. All right, find the missing terms of the arithmetic sequence. This is a sub 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a sub 6. So this is when I'm going to write down the arithmetic formula. Now remember, what would make this problem easy if I knew the pattern? I don't know the pattern, so I'm going to have to use what I have to get what I need. -46 goes in there. And by the way, you cannot do guess and check. I am not okay with that. You have got to show algebraically that you can get it. Okay? So I'm going to go 39 equals -46 plus 6 minus 1 times d. Add 46, and I get 85. 6 minus 1 is 5d. Divide by 5, d equals 15. So I add 15, and I get -31. I add 15, -16. I add 15, -1. I add 15, 14. I add 15, 20, 29. And that means I made a mistake. So let me figure it out. Okay, 85 divided by 5. Let me make sure that's 15. Oops, 85 divided by 5, 17. That's my mistake. So be careful. And the reason I realized it is when I got to 39, it didn't work out. So the pattern is 17. Okay, so I can go -46 plus 17. Let me rewrite that, -29. This is why I should use pencil. Plus 17. -12. Plus 17. 5. Plus 17. 22. Plus 17. 39. So I know that I'm good to go. All right? Find the 43rd term in the sequence. So I know it's arithmetic. A sub n equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. Here's my a sub 1. My pattern is -9, -9. Show it twice. That shows it's a pattern. And they want the 43rd term. So the great thing is all I have to do is plug in. So I'm going to go 8 plus 43 minus 1 times -9. 43 minus 1 is 42. 42 times -9 is -378. Plus 8 is -370, and that's my a sub 43. go to the next one. Find the 8th term of the geometric sequence. So 8 is going to go in for my n. I find the ratio, which means I multiply by 1/3. So that ratio goes in there. And negative 1/3 is my first term. So I straight plug in negative 1/3. 1/3 times 8 minus 1. This is when I'm going to use the fancy calculator. So I'm going to turn it on, and I'm going to plug it in. So control divide gets you a fraction. So negative 1/3, and then parentheses, control divide, 1/3 to the 7th power. And it gives me a fraction, and since this was a fraction, I need a fraction as an answer. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Find the 7th term of the arithmetic or the geometric sequence with the given terms. I'm not quite sure how this one's different than the previous one, but hey, you can get this one, you can get this one. So I'm going to plug in 2. My ratio is negative 4 to the 7 minus 1. Play the same game. Negative 4, 7 minus 1 is 6, and I get 8192. Okay, and I get a sub 7. And this is why, I'm sorry, I'm rushing because it's class right now. So look what I put here. I put the ratio, a sub 8. Okay, last problem and we're good to go. Geometric, a sub n equals a1, r to the n minus 1, a sub 1, 2, 3, a sub 4. So I take the 4, it goes in for n. I take the negative 27 and 4, goes in for a sub n, and I take the 2, and it goes in for that. My goal is to find the ratio. If I had the ratio, life would be easier. So I go 2 times the ratio of 4 minus 1. So now what I'm going to do is divide by 2. When I divide by 2, it's the same thing as multiplying by 1/2. Use your calculator. Okay. Negative 27 over 8 equals r cubed. Cube root it. So my ratio is, negative 3/2. Your calculator can tell you that. So now I'm going to go 2 times negative 3/2, which is negative 3, times negative 3/2. This is all something your calculator can tell you. Times that is negative 27 over 4. And that is my next value. So boom, I'm done. This is your quiz. That's it. Study.